But from a 22-year-old mind, I would love to hear more about your perspective. All right, welcome to another edition of the Final Percent Podcast. I've got Nasty and Nasty Salo. So they're the people who picked those names. I did not pick those names. I would never say something like that on a podcast. But this is what they have requested to be called, and I wanna honor that.
How's the focus looking? We liking it?
I have no idea. It's on auto.
Well, if I'm blurry, even better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, as long as our faces are blurred out, we're good.
Yeah.
We'll add some voice changers on when we're speaking.
On it.
There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we did today. We set up a 6-hour meeting, which then I got hijacked by Bob Snyder for like 2 hours.
You know,
It's okay though. We love Bob.
He's hard
You can
enough.
have him for 2 hours.
we're okay with that.
If anyone's going to hijack me, it needs to be that guy. So
Yeah.
it was actually he and Jay.
Love you more, Jay.
Yeah, I love you more, Bob, if you watch this as
Love you
well.
more, Jay.
And so I just we were talking a little bit about the podcast, and what I realized is, why don't we, number one, introduce some of the BTS people that actually help this crazy thing called Final Percent run in any capacity, because I can't do it without these guys. So we're really launching into what's happening in 2024. We're trying to put some stakes in the ground. We've got stuff with the events. We've overhauled Project 33. We're coming out with some books. We've got courses. We've got the itinerary for events. And the list goes on. Talking about the Infinity Club. We're overhauling the Infinity Club. And just trying to figure this thing out, because we've thrown a lot of stuff at the wall. Some of it's stuck. Some of it's just sticky. But I just thought it would be kind of fun, and just so you know, they didn't know what was happening. I was like, hey, Salo, you sit here. Hey, Owen, you sit here. And then I pressed record and I started talking about it being a podcast. And so now we're here. I just want to talk a little bit about, from your perspective, because, you guys are both 22. And you got this crazy 38-year-old that you work with. And we've already been to, many different countries. We've affected a ton of lives. And we're building something special. But perspective is so interesting for me. And I think that this podcast, just for you, because he did ask me before we went on this, he's like, if you could just tell me what the podcast was about before you hand it to me, it would make it go a little faster and go up faster. So this one's going to be about perspective. So,
oh, thanks, man.
But I think that it's really interesting, because you can gain perspective from a multitude of it. You get different perspective based on your experiences. You get different perspective because us planning for 2023 is way different than us planning for 2024. And then if we had understood what was going to happen in 2023, we would have planned different. So hindsight's always 2020, all those things. But also, I've got this vision and different things that I want to get accomplished. But from a 22-year-old mind, I would love to hear more about your perspective. And some of your favorite things, some challenging things that get you excited, different things that you've gotten to create, your favorite, TFP moment in 2023, whatever it is. Who wants to go first on this one?
I think Owen does.
I think Salo does.
Okay, cool. Salo, go ahead.
Let's see. I'm going to need you to rehash what you want me to say.
Okay, perspective?
I'm going to nail favorite moment.
Okay.
TFP moment.
And then we'll keep it rolling.
Yep.
Got it. All right.
So I think this is a hard one, though, because there's a lot of moments.
Yeah.
I would want to say I really enjoyed the Wyoming retreat, because from there.
Yep.
Grew up there.
Yep.
So going back there, doing the Jeep ride, the shooting, just kind of all encompass of what, and getting rained in and a little bit of snow
randomly
in July.
Yeah. Also,
showing everyone what Wyoming weather is.
Yeah, what Wyoming weather is, and I think it's fun making a bunch of Canadians shoot guns.
Yep, that was real entertaining.
For all my Canadian friends out there, you're welcome. So, Merc.
Trying to play basketball.
Driving into Centennial and then being like, "Where's the basketball hoop?"
Yeah. So trying to play basketball with Craig and then getting just annihilated by hail, like a bad hailstorm.
Yep.
You never know what's gonna happen in Wyoming.
I lost my Oura ring during that.
Did you?
Yeah, because I took it off when we put in basketball and we put it by all of our stuff, and then that. It took 20 seconds for all the wind and the rain and the hail and the clouds and all of it to come in. Like, you know if you were there.
Yeah.
And we picked up all our stuff
and
ran.
It was painful.
Hurt.
It was like hail that was painful.
And I just
hail no.
I never picked up my ring or I didn't see it and then it just
bye bye. Okay, cool.
My ring.
I got mud inside of Salo's Jeep.
Okay.
And he immediately walked up and went, "You got mud in my Jeep?" I was like, "Yeah."
You also ripped off his fender.
I did also rip off his fender.
He's going to do a good thing. I gave him props for getting mud in my Jeep.
He then looked at me and went, "I'm so proud of you."
He did rip my fender off.
I did.
Less proud of that.
So since we have less proud of the fender.
Yes.
So since we're doing it this way, what was your favorite one? And then I'll go with my favorite one. We'll just do a few of these round robins, then talk about what we're doing, and then we'll be good. But this is just talking about this is BTS of TFP.
Oh man, I gotta go with our road trip to Nationals for Renatus.
I was gonna say which one.
Oh yeah, we've been on the road.
When we did Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, Rollins.
Oh, that was
in the middle of nowhere, and we were up to like what?
Did you go work out with us too?
Yeah. And
only one person didn't go work out.
Only one person didn't go work out.
We won't talk about that.
I hit the 110s.
You hit the 110s?
He did hit in the middle of Rollins.
I hit the 125s.
We don't need to hear it. Hey, they've seen that.
But here's the thing. I did it, and then it got a little heavy, and then I threw one on a weight and broke the machine. Turns out if you throw 125 pounds, it's heavy.
Yeah,
the machine doesn't appreciate it. So yeah, that was good. Explain Hot Tub Time Machine for people, though, because I don't think everybody understands what we mean by that.
That was my first session of Hot Tub Time Machine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically talking, doesn't matter what about, in a hot tub.
And
Hot Tub Time Machine.
And you get as it doesn't matter what you're talking about, you try to get as philosophical as possible.
We went there.
We go talk about life, the universe, and everything.
Yeah, and
42. We found out 42.
For all those people that say don't talk about religion and politics, they were absolutely on the table.
Yeah.
So everything's on the table. We talk about all of it. So I'm gonna need you guys' help with my favorite moment.
Anything involving me?
That's true. I love Salo. What year did we go to Costa Rica? Was that last year?
That was last year.
Okay, cool. All right.
Cancun this year.
Cancun is definitely not my favorite moment.
No. The fleas. That was the best
time.
I
still have marks.
Those fleas are the best part.
I still have marks on my legs from the sand fleas.
They really liked you.
Yeah, they really liked me. I think I still have them in my body.
Hey, at least you're never alone.
Yeah, I'm never alone. That's kind of creepy. I think my favorite moment this year. Ooh, goodness. Actually, I know exactly what my favorite moment is. My favorite moment actually happened when I watched Steven, Fire's husband, really spark his entrepreneurial spirit up. He joined us in Renatus, drove from, where are they, Wisconsin? They drove from Wisconsin to Denver, came to the regional, and watching him kind of awaken, and he's such a great person, great dad, incredible husband, but he's been in that the default life mode for too long, and watching him like click on and also realize that he's not alone and has family, like that was pretty special to see. Seeing him get excited at the Denver regional, and then watching him, I got to talk with him in Chicago, and he started out super grumpy because you guys know what it's like. Everyone's trying to talk to me and stuff, and I didn't have a whole lot of time with him, and he was grumpy, and then we got to talk, and I got to watch him, like, and now he's just crushing it. And so that, like, watching the moments, and I think people don't realize, like, it's, again, just because things are available to you doesn't mean they're automatic.
Mm-hmm.
And watching Renatus and the community and his family and belief be available, and then him start to take the action and belief, I think that they, you know, it's my podcast show, so I get to pick more than one. I think the other thing is the watching you guys grow. It's really interesting because, you know, and we'll save this story. We'll bring them back on because I think everyone needs to hear this story. But Owen definitely he went to school with Salo and told him like how easy his life was. And now that Owen gets to experience it, he understands that might not in fact be the case. But I know, like, I'm hard on you guys, but watching like how far you've come and like what we've accomplished as a team, because you know we're a pretty lean. Like the only person we're missing in this convo is Kayla. But you know, day in and day out, like we're kind of like sometimes it's the Three Musketeers. More often than not, it's more of the Three Amigos.
You're Steve Martin.
I'll be Steve Martin. You're Chevy Chase. You're definitely Martin Short, for sure.
Yep. I'm glad we're in agreement.
But we have so much fun, and watching like your guys' light bulbs kind of come on has been pretty fun, and then watching the things that you'll try now versus things you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, like saying, hey, I can tackle that commercial, or I can shoot that, or I can get that done, or, you know, even if I don't know how, I'm going to go figure it out. And like having that, like your tenacity and belief in yourself has been really fun to watch both of you guys. The fact that you guys are working together makes me feel so happy. Just want to throw that out there.
It's all fake.
It's all fake. I doubt. I see it. There's a little.
We do it for the gram.
We do it for the gram.
Literally, as the videos go on Instagram.
Can't tell you how often I'm like, hey Sal, can I get your opinion on this? And he's like, no. Okay, what is it?
That sounds about right. But so let's just talk a little bit about the perspective of being 22 into a company that's like all about like the final percent, finishing stuff. Your culture or your generation is not known for that. Right now, let's be honest. Humanity is not known for that. But being a part of something where there's a level of professionalism and a level of maturity that, you know, usually that kind of responsibility doesn't get put on 22-year-olds. You know, what is that like from your perspective of, you know, moving forward, moving through, you know, things that you like, don't like, whatever it is. And we'll let Owen go first this time.
Fair enough.
Salo just went, yes.
I'd have to say it's one of, if not the most challenging thing I have faced in my life. However, it is also the most rewarding thing. Because, you know, like I have spent a lot of time around people that, especially in the freelance world, mm-hmm. your job is never done.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as finishing. You set up a stage, you leave, you tear down the stage, and you do it again the next day.
Yeah.
And, or when I worked at grocery stores or for shops or anything, it's the same thing every day. There's no finishing of a project. It's just putting another product on the shelf. And so working in an environment where things don't necessarily, like have to be done at a certain point of time, but need to get done at some point or another. It's a weird shift from.
Yeah, that's really good perspective.
There's and so it's a challenging shift, but when I see the project come to fruition and all of the hard work eventually play out, it is way more rewarding than any other type of work I've ever gotten to do.
Wow, that's good. I don't know if we should have let him go first. That's gonna be tough.
I'm going in a completely different direction.
All right, rock and roll.
Because he had normal jobs growing up.
Okay.
I didn't. I've kind of like always worked with family. Like my first thing was on my mom's side, my aunt's husband owns an excavation company, and like I do odd jobs for him and like help with welding or cutting or moving big things around and whatnot. And then it was very quickly to working with you or mentoring under you, and then KMG, and then photography, and then youth photography, and then I was all of a sudden I'm like media director. Okay. And then the freelance thing.
Here?
Yeah.
Isn't that my beautiful house?
But it totally crazy for sure, and definitely hard because obviously growing up in our generation of that side of things, like not really finishing stuff, like start, do. It's like you never finish, and it's just kind of how it is. It's definitely a weird change, but that's not what I was going to mention. I just definitely wanted to, I agree on that side of things as much as I can. But the being 22 side of it in this environment with like the other professional people and like all the business owners or like company owners or corporate people, and like, I can call Sharon Lecter my buddy. Like I could text her right now. It's weird.
That's pretty bad.
And she would respond.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Yeah.
But then going into talking to other 22-year-olds, like my friends in Laramie and then our friends in Denver and stuff, just such different mindsets.
Yeah.
And it's like wild and like sometimes almost impossible to think on the same page or connect on certain ideas.
Yeah.
Because of that difference. Like Nick, my best friend, love the dude, always will love the dude, just will like refuses to just get a credit card because he doesn't want it, and he's like, I'll get it when I need it. It's like, yeah, but when you need it, you're not gonna be able to use it. It's not how credit works.
Good luck with your $300 limit.
That's what he's saying. He's like, I'll get like a loan or like credit stuff like when I need to buy a house. I'm like, yeah, but you need credit score for that, and like you're not gonna have that if you don't like start. He's like, not a big deal. And it's just like, okay. So like that side of things is definitely like, what's the word? Navigating. Yeah. Those two worlds, because obviously they're still my friends and our friends and yada yada yada, and that's not going to really change. But you definitely have to navigate it properly, like going from like professional mindset to
just
staying professional, but still being. Obviously, now I'm 22. I'm gonna hang out with you, be a little dumb and yada yada yada, but you can't go over the top because you still have like an image. Yeah. But this, like, I put quotes, but it's very true. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely, it's fun but difficult.
Yeah. And this was why I thought that this, when we were sitting over there and you guys were kind of throwing ideas at me, and I actually really value your guys' insight probably far more than you realize. But I was just like, man, this would be an interesting... We were talking about a podcast. I'm like, this would be an interesting podcast because, number one, a lot of people see, like, Greg, and they're like, oh, like, it's the guru model. And we literally make fun of the guru model all the time because, like, I'm not. Like, I'm always asking questions and figuring stuff out and reading and trying to make myself better than I was yesterday. And I get frustrated just like, everybody else. And honestly, if I didn't have Kayla, if I didn't have you guys, like, TFP really is the collection, and then it's kind of like we're the immediate family, and then like the extended family is like, you know, the Infinity Club, and then the extended like the cousins are like, you know, the Facebook group, or, you know, people who go to the events. And a lot of people are like, man, I want to be in that circle. Like, how do I get in those conversations? Work your butt off, like with literally zero expectation. Like, I just hope this works. I mean, Owen and I often we make fun of the fact that there's like half the time where he'll work on something for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then we're like, well, that was great R&D. Like, it was just research, not a lot of development, lots of research, you know? And the reason I can identify that is, how do you think I figured out all of my concepts? Like, I've worked on so many concepts. Like, to put this into perspective, my first band name when I moved to Colorado was called the KMG Players. Yeah, great name, bro. Such a, like, how did anyone say, yeah, great idea. That's what you should call your band name, you know? But it takes trying, and you've got to be willing to fail, but you've also got to be willing to explore. And so many people are just looking for the math equation. It's just like, and that's why, so like, I can't remember who I was talking to, but they were basically saying, what am I trying to create? What this, what? And it was all about the what. And I was like, I always search for the who, because if I have the who, then the what becomes really apparent. And because we've had different mastermind members, or now the Infinity Club members show up, we have different people coming into our lives, from, say, Bob Snyder to really working with Renatus. We've also fundamentally become different people. Our what has changed. Like,
You're talking to me.
I was? Okay. So now
I remember this conversation.
so now like, imagine like the Infinity model, you know, has been around for a little bit of, like, almost a year now. Mm-hmm. The thing is we didn't realize what we had, and now we thought it was just going to be a bolt-on product, and now it's becoming like the ethos of the Final Percent, because we didn't realize what we had until we really started speaking on it, and I started coaching people in it, and then we're like, maybe we should dive a little deeper. And that's the other thing, is like, you know, from like design to like sizzle reels to like the shooting and the content and the recaps, and you actually like having the bandwidth to dive in on things that you love, and then who we become together is different than our what changes. And so I think that that's something that everybody, you know, listening needs to realize, is the who becomes, or the what becomes super apparent when you have the right who. If your what is really confusing, then it's probably because, you know, you're going through something like what Salo was just saying, is like, you know, how can I change a life? How can I develop this course? How can I go the final percent for this client? How can I be an entrepreneur? And then I try to explain that way of thinking to my other 22-year-old friends who are,
how can I get a beer?
Who are like, how can I get a beer? And they're speaking different languages. So the what is so misaligned. And that's one of the things, like, the more communication you have, like, the easier the what happens. The easier the what becomes a real destination instead of a wish. So, you know, with that being said, closing comments from you. And then we'll do closing comments and closing comments.
How do I have to start this one? How do you even start a closing comment?
How do you start the stopping comments? No, just like stuff about the final percent. You can talk about, you know, an event that you're looking forward to next year. You can talk about go do this right now. Whatever it is, whatever's on your brain concerning TFP to anyone who listens to this.
I guess I'm two events super excited for. The cruise.
Oh, yeah.
How could you not be?
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be very entertaining. And the amount of content stuff, we are going to sneak onto this boat and sneak off of said boat, technically speaking.
Yep.
Gonna be pretty exciting.
And we have a room that has a freaking grand piano in it, so we might accidentally record a couple songs.
Yeah. We're gonna see if we can take the drone off.
Ooh.
It's been my idea for a little bit.
I
Greg
like
just
it.
found that out. And then the eclipse, because obviously speaking,
Yeah.
spawned TFP.
Yeah.
I witnessed the totality just without you.
Yeah.
So it'd be pretty cool to, actually.
I think
Mingle.
everybody who's in our world needs to come to that event.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be in the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma, so like grab a tent, grab your camper, whatever it is. But I promise you, it will be an event of a lifetime. Like it'll be special.
No, that's that. Super excited for that one.
All right. How about you?
We're talking about what we're excited for,
Mhm.
just events or in general.
Literally anything that you just want to talk about. TFP, like you can say, hey, I'm using this great platform to quit. Like whatever you want to do.
Hey, please stop emailing me. This is my 2-week notice. Thank you all very much.
For the record, I am not quitting.
He's already quit.
My last day, so you get. You know what I'm actually very excited for? The Infinity Pillars books.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing the Infinity Pillars, which
Spoiler
are
alert.
personal, which is business, vitality, community, along with the book that ties them all together. Coming out April 1st, and yeah, I'm excited about those two. I think it's the newest thing I've heard about in personal growth, and I think it's the greatest thing I've done in personal growth to date. So I think that's going to be really exciting. They're all going to release all together, so it's not going to be like one after another, because I want you to get excited and go right into the next book and have them really start changing your lives. What I'm excited about, it quite frankly, is two things. Number one, the full team getting back together. I feel like for a while now we've done a really good job, but we've been kind of the 99%, and I think we can all agree that the final percent of my life and this family is Kayla. Having her come back in a major way, I'm so excited about. Like, I think that she's in so many ways the secret sauce that really makes this family and the businesses special. So having her come back in, I'm really excited about. And then honestly, I think other than the infinity model that I invented and came out with, I love our supplements.
Yeah.
It's just something that since I've switched completely onto them, I feel better. I'm sleeping better. So much so that I'm about to go live and I'm gonna announce, if you went the final percent in this episode, you're gonna get a little sneak peek. But I'm actually going to take kind of a before picture. I'm just gonna keep this going. I'm not gonna shave. I'm gonna reveal what I can do, and by the first day of the cruise, or maybe like the day before we get on the plane or something like that, we'll figure out the exact date. But just taking our supplements, going all in on my fitness and doubling down on that to show people what's possible when you have the right support, you give yourself enough time, and you have the discipline. And, I talk about for a change to occur, you have to have enough time, you have to have the support, and you have to have discipline. So many people buy the support, but they don't give enough time. They pay $30,000 for the coaching, and then they call a week later and say, hey, where's my $1 million? Or they never buy support and they just give it time, but they were working on the wrong things. Or they bought it, they gave themselves all the time in the world, but they don't do the work. They aren't disciplined. And so the best thing that a leader can do is lead by example. And that's one thing. You can tell where you're at. If you ever think that this crew, if we say this is how much this camera costs, we're not doing that to try to impress you. We're trying to do that to express to you how much we believe in our craft that we'll buy the $7,000, $10,000, $20,000 equipment. And you know, we're sitting in like that rack is $100,000. Like we do that not to impress you, it's to express to you how serious we take our craft. We do that to express to you what's possible. And the other thing is, you know, if you're going to take supplements, you're going to do the work, you're going to work out, you know, I want to express to you what's possible. I'm not working out to impress anybody who's listening to this. Like, the only person I want to impress is my wife. The thing I want to do for you is I want to express to you why we made the supplements, express to you what's possible in your life, express to you that it is possible for you. And I want to give you the building blocks and the blueprint and the guide and the guidance to accomplish it for yourself. But you've got to be willing to do the work. And so we can give you the support, but that's what we're here for. We're here for the support. If you don't give yourself the time and you're not disciplined, there's no support that's going to work for you. It's just not going to happen. So our supplements, and we're coming out with, I think, 4 or 5 new ones here soon. The Black Label products are coming out. That's going to be incredibly cool. And then just having my wife back to really show people, again, what's possible in marriages, what's possible in business, and the courses that are coming out. I'm really excited. So I know you love talking. Anything else you want to? You're good?
I love you more.
I love you more.
Love you more, Owen. Love you more, Craig. Love you more, Meredith. Love you more, Allie. Love you more, Dale. Love you more, Marla.
I'm just going to say I love you more.
Doesn't count, Greg.
No, I'm literally just saying I love you more and pointing.
That's valid.
So, I mean,
I love you more.
So who's ever behind the other side,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we love you more.
I love you more. Owen loves you more. Salo loves you more. Yeah. It sucks to suck. That's the 22 coming out right there. That's that language.
Hey, Alicia watches this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. That's
I'm
good.
meeting everybody at their level.
Ready? It's the final percent.
And now we have the new intro
outro,
exit.
yes.
I love it.
It's the final percent.
And